Hello and welcome to another episode of the Menswear Style Podcast. I'm your host, Pete Brooker. Today I am talking to Oliver van Lanschot Hubrecht. He is the brand manager for Alpina watches. And again, this was an interview I managed to get in person with Oliver at a watch event that we did last week in London. And there is a huge debrief of the brand Alpina watches on their website. It's like a 180-page PDF book that's up there. I'm going to give you a very thin description here. Alpina was founded in 1883 when Swiss watchmaking visionary and alpinist Gottlieb Hauser founded the Alpina Swiss Watchmakers Corporation, and in doing so united the leading Swiss independent watchmakers who became known as the Alpinists. In 2015, cut smash for about 130 years, in 2015, Alpina introduced the first Swiss-made smartwatch, thereby creating a new product category in the industry. Fascinating brand, fascinating gent. Love talking to Oliver, and make sure you check out alpinawatches.com and look at all the watches that we'll be talking about in this episode. Without any further ado, here is Oliver van Lanschot Hubrecht. He is the brand director at Alpina Watches. Well, welcome back to another episode of the Menswear Style Podcast. Today I'm joined by Oliver van Lanschot Hubrecht. I hope I got that right.
Great pronunciation. Thank you.
The brand manager for Alpina Watches. Thanks for coming down today.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Excellent. And we have a knock on the door. We've actually got some watches that have been brought in so that we can have a look and
some product
and review them. But there they are. Some beautiful watches on their way. Look at that.
Thank you.
And, well, Oliver, perhaps you can just give us a thumbnail sketch of you. And if you can, paraphrase the entire history of Alpina watches into about a minute segment.
Great. Yeah, so I'm the brand director for Alpina watches. As you say, we've got an extremely rich history. The Alpina brand was actually created in 1883 by somebody called Gottlieb Hauser as a watchmaking union. So it was really the first union bringing together suppliers, retailers, designers to be stronger together as a group. Then the brand was really effectively starting to make watches under the Alpina brand name, starting in the early 1900s. Won a gold medal at the Paris World Exhibition, for example. Had a huge growth and success over the first half of the 20th century within really the different universes. So pilot's watches, for example. Of course, originally the purpose of the brand was to create a strong and sturdy watch that was able to resist in the harsh environment given by the Alps. But then, innovation over the years, pilots' watches, divers' watches, also in distribution. We were the first brand to give an international warranty, for example, also in the early 1900s. So also in terms of processes, really rich history there. Then the brand ceased to exist following the quartz crisis. So in 1982, it ceased its operations until it was purchased again by Peter and Aletta Stas, so the founders of Frédéric Constant, and then relaunched the brand in Basel World in 2003. So then we've got the whole second part or rebirth of the brand up till today. So really a rich history we can play with.
Yes, and I encourage people to go onto the Alpina website and have a look at the book.
Exactly.
It's printed in a PDF form, and you can scroll through around 200 odd pages and immerse yourself in that. Some wonderful stories.
Correct.
There.
I could speak for it about for hours, right? But I try to keep it focused.
Well condensing that, thank you. But I mean, you can elucidate as much as you like. I'm fascinated by the watch brand. Perhaps you can talk about, were they specifically designed for pilots or maybe for armies or the military at certain points?
Yeah, I think as for other brands as well. I mean, at the time, I think the military and the aviation and the functionality was really guiding innovation within the watch industry. That's for sure. So Alpina, together with other brands, for example, got a brief from the Royal Air Force, to design pilots' watches that would really help pilots navigate at the end. So they really have a functionality which also guides, the design and the development of the different watches.
And have they kept that functionality today in the watches that people can buy today from Alpina?
Of course. So I think these codes you can really find, design, let's say features you can really find in the collections today still. So that's really what guides the design and the innovation into the watches. I think they're more used as, let's say, a design and a style rather than pure functionality, given the technology that has evolved. I hope that when you take a plane, you don't count on your pilot, to fly you to Heathrow using his watch. But for sure, it continues to guide design. Yeah.
I like the people that buy certain watches because they might have helium valves and they go, well, I'm submerged in 300 meters worth of water. Don't worry about it. I've got my one. I'm like, great. Okay. For that 1 in a million chance. I love that you've got that to hand. So as a brand director, perhaps you can talk about your day-to-day role and what's a 9 to 5 like for you.
Yeah. So it's extremely varied. I mean, my role is obviously to develop the brand from a commercial perspective, as well as from an awareness perspective. So I really have a central role within the company. I'm working with all the different departments, whether, of course, communication, really responsible for developing the marketing and communication activities to raise awareness, but then also have an eye on product development. It's really, let's say, a very hybrid role, which makes it extremely interesting because you really have, let's say, an overall view on the first ideas of the development of the watch, all the way to the distribution and the moment to which it's sold out. So I think that's really not every day is different. Let's say that's for sure. It includes travel. It includes being at the manufacturer, also coordinating and speaking with all the different departments who are realizing and developing the watches till the end.
Okay, so that's fascinating. So you're there from the birth of maybe a design idea. If you were to release a new watch, you're kind of overseeing that and then following that entire journey along to market with having lots of integral parts and moving parts along the way, pardon the pun. So these must feel like your children by the time they hit the marketplace because you've been with these watches for so long.
Yeah, true. I mean, that's really the interesting part of it. You really start with an idea and then end, with somebody wearing the watch. So that's the beauty of it, to be and the chance, to be able to follow it from A to Z. Of course, all the people working in the manufacturer, have all their specialities, and they all have their elements that's bringing to the end watch. But I think that in my position, that's the chance to participate at my level, let's say, at all the different stages.
So we've got some watches in front of us, and perhaps you can just show me, if you don't mind, what we're looking at here, and people will leave some links into the show notes so that they can see what we're talking about here.
Yeah. So we've got presenting here two beautiful watches. The Alpina brand really has three clear universes that we're playing in, so air, land, and sea. Three collections. Today we're presenting one watch which is within the land universe under the collection name Alpina, and we're showing here the Alpina Extreme, which is a beautiful watch that's also inspired by the more recent history of Alpina. So in 2006, we launched the initial Avalanche Extreme, which is a very strong and oversized watch, which had a 48 millimeter diameter, so really a big watch. And we fully redesigned the case here to a 42 millimeter. So as you can see, a very strong case. So its construction is really in four different layers. You can see a beautiful bezel. You can see that the screws on the bezel also have the Alpina triangle logo, which represents the Matterhorn, by the way.
Oh, wow.
A very nice pattern on the dial as well. Also, so with a three-dimensionality here given also by the Alpina triangles. So really a beautiful watch that is here, true to the history of the brand, very recognizable, iconic in its own way, and this is really going to be the strong focus for Alpina, launching in the next few months after the summer, and will really be the focus element for the brand in the next upcoming years.
And how much would people be looking to spend on a watch like this?
So at the very accessible price of £1,450. So this is also what makes the brand unique. So we really have here beautiful automatic watch with strong Alpina DNA and a very accessible price positioning. So I think it ticks a lot of boxes.
I love that. And the second one looks to be... Well,
yes.
You can describe it.
So here we can dive into the, let's say the C here with the C strong Calanda, Diver 300 Calanda. So this is in our C universe, the C strong collection, with a beautiful watch, which is very unique as well, as it is the first watch that is developed using a case or using recycled stainless steel for the case. Also recycled bracelet, recycled strap here using recycled plastic bottles.
Oh wow, that's so cool! And for people, I'm looking at it, looks to be like a bird's eye fabric, like a mottled grey and black. But so that's made out of recycled materials as well. That's really cool.
Recycled plastic bottles, so we create thread out of it, which is then woven to create this beautiful textile-looking strap.
That is a thing of beauty. So, Oliver, you touched upon the sustainability element of this being made out of recycled elements. How much of that sustainability is now a focal part for the brand Alpina?
So this is a very good question. First of all, I mean, playing within the universes of air, land, and sea. Of course, we're directly living every day, within nature, within the environment. Of course, the sustainability topic is an extremely interesting one and goes much further than the product. Of course, we've been working now for the past couple of years at really working on a sustainability roadmap, really looking at how to integrate that into our mission, but then also how we can really act as a company and fully act as a company in a sustainable manner. So normally, indeed, the product should be coming at the end of this process as a result of a company roadmap and a company behavior. So we're working very hard on that. But of course, we've also been already starting to use some recycled materials so far through partnerships as well as sustainable partners. But we've still got a long way to go.
Yeah.
But working hard on it, and hopefully we can also pioneer a little bit in how to open up.
And are these going to be more of the focus for these kind of watches to be made out of these kind of materials moving forward with Alpina?
Well, down the road, I think that is clearly an objective. Now, it's true that this remains niche for us. Let's face it. Recycled materials are stainless steel, for example, is quite scarce, and also brings in additional cost. So this particular piece here is limited to 300 pieces. But hopefully we can integrate more and more of this, and that it will be fully included within our product ranges, but also bringing transparency at the end, on the sourcing of our product.
Nice. And so you're a brand manager. How do you? We touched upon the marketing of the watches earlier on. How do you start? In terms of that watch, you have a new watch, it's sustainable elements. How do you now start to get that and bring awareness to that product? Do you have a touchstone or a base that you work from and then go, right, we need to put this over here, get this in front of eyeballs over there? Is there a strategy behind, and maybe you can talk about those strategies?
Yeah, of course. I think that this is for sure, let's say, a support or platform into which we can communicate by. We have an interesting story behind this watch, which we call it the Calanda for a particular reason. So this is actually a tribute or a homage to the Calanda ship from 1942. It was the first ship to fly the Swiss sail at sea. So of course Switzerland has no access to sea, but only lakes. But during the Second World War, there was a lot of trouble, to get goods up to Switzerland. So the Calanda was the first ship, and then was scrapped in Hong Kong. So what happens with all that steel, for example? So this is of course an element, that we can raise awareness with through our different communications, through our different partnerships. So I think it's really a central piece to then communicate around our different initiatives.
So that watch was made out of the boat, the steel?
No, so it was a good question. So the boat was dismantled in 1953 in Hong Kong. So it doesn't come from this particular boat, but it comes from marine transportation. So the story, let's say the sourcing is the same, but of course we wanted to make tribute to that particular ship, and then also emphasize, on the fact that the stainless steel coming out from scrapping, is also used.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Would you look at a project like that in future, maybe, if there's perhaps some? Okay, let me frame this. I'm kind of skirting around it. Have you seen the film The Man with the Golden Gun?
Absolutely.
Right. Okay. So you have the Queen Elizabeth ship that's in the harbour of Hong Kong.
Yes.
And Roger Moore kind of goes past in a ship. It's capsized, and it was a famous ship because it mysteriously caught fire and sunk and remained capsized in Hong Kong harbour. And then it caught fire again and sunk to the bottom of the bay. And they had to get it out because of all the tidal. It was messing with the tidal stream within the bay area there. And so various companies came in and took parts of it and reproduced it, repurposed it. So you have things like Parker pens that have like certain amounts of the metal within them pens, and they became ludicrously exclusive. So do you have, it's a bit of a strange question, do you have like things like that could be further down the road where you think, oh, we need to do something where we can get it from the actual source?
This is not, to be very, very honest, in our plans. I think that we're really focusing at making, beautiful, strong, Swiss-made watches close to the Alpina DNA, using, of course, sourcing materials that are sustainable. That's for sure. But I love the idea.
To be fair to Oliver, I didn't have that question written down, and I completely threw him under the bus. And I did just watch The Man with the Golden Gun last night.
Yeah, you can see some brands doing that and so on, but it's not directly one of our focuses.
Perhaps you can talk about what is your focus, maybe for the remainder of this year. We have this watch coming out, but is there anything else down the pipeline as well that you have in mind?
So I think focus is the key word here. We're really launching the Alpina Extreme. So this will really be our key launch that we're going to be communicating on, that we're going to be further developing. So this is the first piece that's going to come out now, and there are going to be, let's say, many other evolutions of this piece coming on down the road, and then also through communication platforms that's going to be helping us to get that watch out there. So that's really our key focus. Let's be clear.
Wonderful. Are you doing Baselworld?
That's a good one. So unfortunately, or I don't know. Fortunately, maybe Basel is not in the picture anymore. So we're going to be at Geneva Watch Days in August. And then, let's see what comes afterwards, huh?
Amazing. All right. Oliver, thanks so much for taking time out and walking me through these beautiful watches today. We'll leave all the links on the show notes on the website so people can have a look at them. AlpinaWatches.com is also a place people can hang out. And in the shops, I want to say. H. Samuel. Watch shop.
Yeah.
We'll
Ernest Jones.
Absolutely. People can find out there, and also all the store locators online where you can find out where to get these beautiful timepieces. Oliver, thanks again.
Thank you very much.
Really enjoyed it.
Anytime.
You've been listening to the Menswear Style podcast. Be sure to head over to menswearstyle.co.uk for more menswear content, and email info@menswearstyle.co.uk if you would like to be a future guest on the show. Finally, please help support the show by leaving a review on iTunes or wherever you're listening to this podcast. Until next time.